All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Black Experience. Welcome back, y'all, to season 4 of the Black Experience. We're in a new season now, guys. And as this year rolls on, can you guys believe it? It's already March, already 3 months into this year. And we are rolling. We're rolling every week, every Wednesday. And today, y'all, I have a very special guest with me. She's actually someone who I met pretty recently and someone who is not from Bellingham, but actually goes from somewhere else. She comes from Everett, and she has a lot to say to tell her life story, her journey, and ultimately the advice that she would give to her younger self. So without further ado, y'all, let's put our hands together and let's bring up Kaylie.
Hi, thanks for having me, Ermias. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. How's
Thanks.
it going? How's your day been so far?
So far today has been beautiful. I appreciate the rain in Washington any day. Seeing the little tulips and everything pop up. This is my season.
Really? Even on a Friday?
Even on a Friday. Yeah, leading into the
Ugh,
weekend. What's to be wrong, you know? Like, let's just keep it.
that's true. I need that kind of attitude, actually, because usually well, Bellingham weather kind of messes with you. You know what I mean? Because it's sunny sometimes, and then you have hopes for spring. It's like, oh, it's an early spring, and then we go right back to the rain.
Yeah, and I
So,
feel like we just had snow like earlier this week even, but
yeah,
no, it's coming. It's right around the corner.
absolutely. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, appreciate you hopping on the podcast. I remember the first time we met was at a meeting that Jacqueline held.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, the president of the Office of Equity, Jacqueline.
Yes, she did that.
Yeah, Dr. Jacqueline, she's great.
Yeah, yeah. So did you know Jacqueline, or how did you get connected to that meeting
Yeah,
initially?
definitely.
What was that like?
So I was recommended. I had joined a committee over at my community college, and they had recommended me to continue to be in programs when I go on to university. Forwarded me on to the Office of Equity there just to see what was going on. Got connected with her assistant, and he was like, "Yeah, I think you would be great to reach out to Jacqueline." Watched one of her presentations that she had talking about the student experience survey that they had, and just let her know that, you know what, I really want to be a part of whatever you got going on here. If it means reaching out to students and expanding accessibility to other kinds of people, like that's what I want to be here for. And although I'm attending the Everett campus, I'm still a Western student, and I want to share my experience and make that more accessible for other people to feel like they're a part of Western as well.
Wow. And I feel like every place needs some kind of person to like initiate it, and take that first step. So
Totally.
it definitely seems like
Yeah,
you're.
like we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to be seen. We want to make things for ourselves too.
So I think the first time I actually knew that Western had kind of like an association with Everett was when you talked about it after
Yeah.
the little post meet. So
Hmm.
kind of like for maybe for viewers that don't know that Western, has its reach to Everett, it can kind of like explain a little bit about that.
Totally. Yeah. So Everett hosts 14 different majors down at the Everett location. They have the Everett University Center, shares with a couple other universities, but we're able to attend hybrid and in person classes there. And a lot of the same instructors are paired to teach down there in Everett as well. In addition to that, Western also has the distance learning, which mainly is based out of Poulsbo, but they have people from all over Washington that go and attend that campus.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You feel like you've been accustomed to Everett, or did you grow up in Everett
I did,
initially?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I grew up in Snohomish County, Linwood, Everett, Mount Lake Terrace, and once I heard that there was another small campus attached to a Western that I could attend and still stay local where I was at, that made it more viable for me to still work and go to school full time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Kaylee, let's get into it. Let talk a little bit about because you said you're from Everett, but kind of go a little bit into depth about what did the background, like a little bit about your background, and then what did life look like growing up for you as a child, and then growing up to be an adult now.
Totally. So I'm 32, and I took a large break in between high school and university. But starting out, it was just me and my mom, actually. She's visually impaired. And so growing up, we relied heavily on her family, which luckily there was 4 generations of us. So I've grown up in a family of helpers and support. But we necessarily didn't have the educational background or the push to like really go on for higher education. So although that's something that I'm pursuing on my own, I still have the love and support from my family.
Wow. Wow.
Let's see. Sorry. Get my
No,
words
no,
out.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so growing up in Snohomish County, just went to Linwood High School and
What's the call the animal or the
chimera.
chimera?
Yeah,
So the
yeah, we're
Linwood
the
chimeras.
Linwood Royals.
Okay. Is chimera like
It's a goat, lion, snake. It's a mix of
a
animals. Yeah,
mixture of?
yeah.
Oh my
That's our
gosh.
mascot.
So
But
who's
yeah,
gonna beat y'all? No one's gonna beat y'all.
totally, we're everything. Yeah.
Wow. I went to so initially for high school for me, I went to Garfield, so I was a bulldog.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I shifted over to Ballard my last 3 years, and I became a beaver. So I went from a bulldog to a beaver, which was a downgrade in my head.
You felt like you took that personally.
I
Like
took it
you
personally.
inherited it. Yeah.
I was like, Mom, Dad, what are we doing moving up here north? I'm a beaver now. I can't even. I'm Ballard Beavers, but whatever.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ballard. I love Ballard. If anyone's listening to this, I love you guys. But that's beautiful.
No, you got to rep where you come from.
You
for
got
sure.
to. You got to. So, man, like, a vision of your mom was impaired, visually. That is something that is very tough, obviously. And,
Yeah.
man, like, how were you able to, I guess, balance helping your mom with other responsibilities that you had?
Totally. I think it definitely parentified me at a young age, but I don't think I would change that for the world. It's made me who I am today and encourages me to stay within the helping profession, honestly. I see it as a responsibility that I appreciate. I get compliments all the time, like, you're so chill, you're helpful. And in some of my extracurriculars, volunteering with the blind community, I'm able to use those skills working with my mom to help people feel more comfortable with new people. Like, I even teach the visually impaired people to go cross-country skiing. We go out a couple times in the quarter.
No way.
Yeah.
And how's that been?
Yeah, that's been great. I've been doing that since about 2014. Yeah, we meet. It's the Ski for Light group.
Gotcha. I've never skied before.
No, you
And
should
so
you should go.
I should go?
Yeah, yeah. Cross-country skiing is a lot like snowshoeing. It's a lot more gliding, but it's a slow pace and really a full body workout when you're out there.
Now, should that be my first thing though? Or should I like ease my way into skiing?
I would start with cross-country rather than downhill skiing.
So when you say cross country, because I ran cross country in high school, are we talking a 5K or how long are we talking?
I'm talking like you're out on tracks. At least where we go, we have groomed tracks so that the visually impaired people are able to stay in those, and we guide them. We're like, all right, we're going around a turn. We're going to go left here. And sometimes you just have to say, stop, sit. And they drop so that way they don't go over an edge. But for the most part, they stay in the tracks. We're going out, and we're there for a couple hours, spend the day together, have lunch, and then we take the charter home.
Wow. That's beautiful work, Kaylie.
Yeah.
That's like, I think one of my favorite music videos that I've ever seen. And it kind of, it brings emotion to me. It makes me emotional a little bit because it's the song Renegades by Ex-Ambassadors. I don't know if you've ever seen the music video. It's got millions of views, but it is, the first time I saw it, it was the most inspiring thing I've ever seen. It's a guy with no arms, no legs, and he's paired up with a group that I don't know if it was Mount Kilimanjaro, but it was some mountain that they were climbing. A guy that's visually impaired that does mountain biking. Just like these inspirational stories. I mean, a guy that's one of the ex-ambassador members, I believe, is visually impaired as well.
Okay.
And it's like, I'm like, man, like, it takes a lot. Like, it makes me feel more gratitude, you know what I mean? For like the blessing that I have, everything that I have.
Totally. Appreciate all of your senses.
Yeah. Because sometimes you can forget, right? So.
Definitely. I'm reminded constantly when I work with them, their hearing is top notch. I'll tell you that. Yeah. I'm whispering something to someone. They'd be like, excuse me. Be like, oh, that's right. They got a heightened sense of hearing. But yeah,
Wow.
they make do with everything that they've got. And it is a good reminder to be around that.
Growing up, was there anyone that you looked up to, or anyone that was a role model that motivated you to be the person you are today?
Yeah. I'm going to kick it back to my mom on this one, honestly. Just seeing her live with what she says isn't a disability. To her, that's how she was born. That's just her lived experience. So taking that mindset and seeing her actually become a business owner and work her whole life to provide for both of us is something that I really look up to.
You said she's a business owner. What kind of businesses does your mom run?
Yeah.
If
So
anything you want to shout out, maybe,
no, totally. Yeah. So she owned a business for about 10 years through the BEP program, the Business Enterprise Program, and they teach visually impaired people to run and manage their own businesses. She had a cafe right underneath the Everett Courthouse. Yeah. So she served the public there and taught me business skills. And yeah, I just admire her aspirations to continue to try doing new things and never to say, like, no, that's not for me. I couldn't do that because I have such and such. Like, no, she's just like, I'm going to do that and I'm going to learn how it works for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take no for an answer. Don't let somebody else tell you you can't do that. Like, people are going to doubt you, but you'll prove them however you're able to.
And would you say there's been some examples in your life where it could either be in school where someone's like, oh, I got a higher test score than you, or someone in sports where they were like doubting you or whatever, that you want to share that, you were like, no, you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to get better at this.
Totally. Yeah. I think that there's been plenty of times, like, I'm going to say, coming up here to the main campus, there'd be times where I interact with other Western students where they're like, you're from where? You do what? And you're like, yeah, that's me. This is where I'm at. This is my journey. I think comparison is like the worst thing ever. I mean, you just focus on yourself and what you can bring to the table. So I just want to shout out that I'm here. I feel confident in my degree and that going on, that my aspirations are going to be to help other people. It's not about being the best in any field or comparing myself to others. It's what drives me every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that feeling like when you do come up to Western here? Like, obviously, I mean, Bellingham, Everett, vastly two different cities.
Mm-hmm.
What's your experience been shifting from that city to this city?
I say coming up to Bellingham is gorgeous. Like, there's definitely a lot of old culture. You can walk around, you can see things that people definitely have established and invested in, compared to Everett, where it's a little bit more industrial. Yeah, a bit more diverse. So coming up here, it can feel isolating in a way when you come up here. Like, I haven't contributed as much to this. Maybe this isn't the exact space that I'm tied to, but it does feel important enough to continue to come back here and feel like, okay, what other programs can I join into, or like, how can I expand my higher education career here to make sure that I get the most out of it? Yeah.
Wow. I remember my first time coming to Bellingham. I was like, it was the same way. It was a beautiful sunset that was happening. It was my orientation. It was like 2 days of orientation, and I was just like, this is beautiful. Like, I'm actually glad I'm going to Western, and because my journey was, I was like, I want to go to UW Seattle specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to UW. They didn't accept me. I was heartbroken, and Western was one of those schools that accepted me very quickly, and I ended up coming here. But the city is just so beautiful, but at the same time, it's again like it looks vastly different from the south of Bellingham.
Mm-hmm.
And that caught me off guard. And it, not that it bothered me specifically, Kaylee, but more so it just kind of startled me a little bit, and it took me some time to kind of get adjusted to. So when you come up here, do you feel like you're truly yourself, and you're still good, or how's that personally been for you?
I feel like I'm able to be myself when I'm up here. I don't feel like I've made as many connections with Bellingham specific relations. A lot of the connections I've made have been with the Everett cohort and the instructors that we've had down there. So I enjoy coming up here. It's beautiful, but I don't know. I'd like to stay in my own corner in a way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and build up from there and make sure that we have programs and different clubs that people can join in and feel like they can expand their career while they're attending the Everett location.
Let's expand a little bit on that. What have been maybe some of the involvements or some of the work that you've been able to do there in Everett?
Yeah, so I've joined the Sense of Belonging and Ambassador program for the Human Services program, and we've been able to bridge the major between the three campuses a little bit, held a couple events, do some tablings to try to encourage more people to apply within. And we're actually going to be hosting an event this Sunday, getting the cohort together just to encourage ourselves to push through this last quarter and make it to graduation. So excited to see how that event goes off. I've attended a study abroad in Southeast Asia with Western, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What part of Southeast Asia?
Thailand and Vietnam.
Wow.
It was a 6-week program. Yeah.
How's the weather?
Phenomenal. The food, great. The culture, the people, it's just so immersive, and people were welcoming over there like 95% of the time. Yeah. Being a queer woman, going over into those spaces, sometimes it can feel a little intimidating, but for the most part over there, it was just wonderful. Yeah.
Did you have to learn the language as well, or was it just like a specific thing you have to do?
There was a lot of English-speaking students that we were paired with at the universities over there, but they did do a few lessons of the language over there. So
Nice.
yeah, little hello, goodbye, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could have, like, those are things like you can remember.
Yeah, like
But,
going into a restaurant, like Sawatdee ka, like trying to say hello, how are you?
In Vietnamese
In
or
Thailand.
in Thailand? Okay. In Thai, I guess what's the
In Thai.
in Thai? Okay, just Thai. 'Cause I was like, what is it, Thailandese? Or that doesn't sound right to me though. Yeah. Growing up, I was a big like geography nerd in terms of like I would like in my free time after my schoolwork just look up the capital city of every country, and Bangkok and Ho Chi Minh City. I remember them like the back of my hand. So that's beautiful.
Yep, we got to visit both of those.
Yeah.
Or sorry, no, we didn't go to Bangkok. We stayed more in the north side. Yeah, we went up to Chiang Mai, Qingdao, up in the forest. Yeah, highly recommend.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say, speaking of the forest, was it this past weekend you went stargazing?
I did, yeah.
And you recommended going to the forest to me.
Definitely. Get away from the lights, get to go see the galaxies and the stars out there, and bring some hot cocoa this time of year, or whatever it takes to keep you warm. But highly encourage getting out into nature.
Kaylie, I want to ask you, I think the last few guests that I've had, I think the theme that I've seen is, especially as a college student, it's not easy. And we were talking a little bit about it, but the imposter syndrome, self-esteem, lack of self-esteem. I've seen a lot of my peers, including myself, get caught up in the whole busyness of college and wanted to just try to fit in because you spend all your time and energy in school, and then anything else you kind of just like, well, my diet could kind of wait. I could eat some bad food. I could just try to fit in, do X, Y, and Z. What I guess like how have you been able to navigate college? Despite the busyness and all the responsibilities that you have, and fighting that imposter syndrome?
Definitely. So being that I'm attending down in Everett, we have nighttime classes. So I've been able to maintain a full-time job while going through university. And that has definitely been a balance. Just marking off times on my calendar where it's like, you know what? No, I'm not available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Most likely Monday either. You're probably going to catch me 1 to 2 days a week. And that's when I'm just going to have time. So being able to hold myself accountable to a strict schedule has been the thing that's helped me stay on track. Yeah. But when I'm feeling imposter syndrome, it's because I think I'm so compartmentalized with, I have work. Yeah, I have my student life, but I also have friends that I want to maintain. So it's a balance of feeling like, okay, am I giving enough to this one quadrant? Am I doing enough here? Do I feel confident that I've put in my best? And at the end of the day, it's like, no, that's just your inner critic telling you didn't try hard enough. But look at what you have accomplished already. Yeah.
You're able to look back and be like, wow, look how far I've come. Kind of like what Dr. King said, look how far we've come. There's still more work to be done. But man, it kind of goes back to that gratitude that we were talking about too, of just being thankful for, like, look at the work you've done.
Definitely.
Just before this, I was coming from the engineering lab, and we have, multiple presentations, projects due next week, and it's easy to kind of get caught up in that and be like, hey, you know what? Look, We're both graduating in June. We're almost there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, finish this quarter, this semester as best you can, but don't quit, don't stop.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And I feel like that's a message a lot of us college students need to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like people are going to be hit with setbacks, but that doesn't mean you can't continue to push forward. Like that's going to make your story much stronger in the end. Be look back like, oh yeah, I lived through that, and someone else is going to see that and be like, they did it, I can do that too. So not only are you proving it to yourself, but you're showing other people that they can move forward too.
that is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you could picture a world right now that is, I don't want to say perfect, but a perfect world where people, there's no such thing as an imposter syndrome. Everyone is actually themselves. You're seeing the true, John, Ben, whoever, Cassidy, whatever. What does that world look like to you?
Yeah, I think to me that's people being fully able to express themselves however that means to them. Like if they want to dye their hair purple, or if they want to show up maybe like 2 days a week because that's what their spoons allow them to do, like that means something to them. So in a perfect world, people are able to value the work that they bring to the table and not compare it to others. Yeah, it's not focused on labels or expectations. It's everybody feeling confident in what they can do, what they have done, and what they're going for.
And although like expectations, are good to an extent, right? So where would you draw the line, I guess, between, let's have some level of structure, but at the same time, let's allow people to be themselves.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that there is a capacity for expectations to push you too far, where you reach that limit where you're like, oh no, like I'm not enough. I'm not going to reach that. But if it's pushing you out of your comfort zone and you feel like I'm trying, I'm like, I don't know, but that's a good limit. You're testing yourself a little bit. But if you're to the point where every day you're just not feeling good about yourself, like maybe you need to reevaluate that at some point. Yeah, don't live up to expectations for other people. Like what do you want out of it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't live up expectations to other people. That's powerful right there. Yeah, that's good. Well, Kaylie, to wrap things up, what advice from your experience would you give? I'm actually going to double this. What advice would you give to your younger self on one end, but then at the same time, what advice would you give to the younger college students, that younger generation that's coming into college?
Younger me, I would say that life isn't as critical as you think it is, and to be kinder on yourself as you're growing up, and to know that you're going to get out of it okay. Like, and know that you're still going to have love and support no matter what you come out with. And I think that the younger generation coming up into university should evaluate what they want to do before just joining into university. I think you can burn up a lot of time and space if you join university because you're like, I need to go. I just need to get a degree. But if you don't go in there with a plan and think like, okay, where is this program going to take me? Like, what career do I want? That you can end up wasting a lot of time and be like, 2 quarters in, you're out.
Yeah. And a ton of money, a ton of loans,
Yeah. Money, time, heartache, all of it comes through. But if you're in it for a passion, that's what holds you through for that 4 years, 10 years if you go on for a doctorate, any of that. It really needs to be tailored to your own passions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Kaylie, thank you for joining us on the podcast. It's been an honor.
Thanks.
Before I close it down, is there anything you want to shout out? Maybe any kind of work that you're doing, any social media, anything that you want to throw out?
Yeah, totally. So the Sense of Belonging Ambassadors Human Services Program group, we're going to be launching a new group. We're launching a new group next quarter for all majors, actually, to come in and join, but it'll be hosted by the Human Services Program so that people can have a sense of belonging, whether it's on the distance learning campus, the Everett campus, or here on Western. So just look forward to that. Next quarter, we'll be hosting events for all majors.
For all majors, so I can be there.
Yeah. We'd love to have you.
Sweet. Sweet. Well, thank you, Kaylee. Hope y'all enjoyed that awesome episode. Stay tuned as season 4 rolls on, and we'll catch y'all on the very next one. Till next time, guys. Peace.